Hello, it's Musings with Mookie. I'm sitting outside in my shed. Anytime getting the kids up early, it's a rough morning. After having a long night, after thinking about how much you have to cook for this holiday meal, and you don't even celebrate the holiday because you know the history, the extended history. I mean, of course, we changed it into something else. But usually when we change it to the best thing, we forget about the worst things. And that's kind of what some people like. It's the worst thing was so bad that you have to replace it with something. And I talk about this because that is the reality of like a trauma, actually having a trauma experience, and then having a not so traumatic experience, but the feelings are similar that you learn to block out that whole period of time. And I bring this up because like a feeling is a feeling is a feeling. And I think I talked about this before. Like stubbing your toe is different from I don't know, breaking your leg. I don't know what example I use. But if you've never broken your leg before and you've only stubbed your toe, that is the worst feeling you've ever felt. If you break your leg and you saw yourself break your leg, like it wasn't an accident, you actually saw it coming. Like you can replay the entire event in your head over and over and over again. Sometimes you relive that pain. I want to say sometimes you relive that pain, so you try to block it out. But you don't block out stubbing your toe so much. Like it may still cause you to once in thought, but you don't really block it out. Like, because I need to know not to bump into a table like that, or I don't know, wear shoes. So I was asked, what do you usually do during the holidays or whatever? And I was like, I just usually sit by myself. I don't do too much. I don't go nowhere. Hadn't even got to my birthday. We were just talking about this Thanksgiving break. We're gonna call it Thanksgiving for so people can understand what break I'm talking about. But it happens the fourth Thursday of the November. We take time to make a large meal that's definitely not representative of what the Pilgrims had. I know for 1,000% what I'm finna eat on Thursday is gonna taste a whole hell of a lot better than what they ate. They didn't even really have no pots and pans, just sticks and skewers and I don't. Anyway, so they asked me what I do, and I said I don't do anything. And I was like, do I really not do nothing on Thanksgiving, but only cook when my kids are home? That's crazy. So I had to think I had to think real hard. So my kids wasn't with me last Thanksgiving. That was 2024. I couldn't tell you what I did. Oh, I was at home by myself. I had old times. I went to this place and I was like, I'll just get a bunch of food from there. That'll be, you know. And they were getting ready to close, and I get my food rung up, and it rings up, and it's sorely discounted. And I was so thankful. Cashier looked at me, I looked at her, and she's like, "That's the price." Like she ain't go get nobody, and I ain't pressed the issue, and I left. So yeah, I did Thanksgiving by myself. And then the year before that, of course, it was with my kids, and I cooked. The year before that, when I stopped remembering, I had just a bad experience where I just felt really bad for a few days. And it was during the Thanksgiving break. And I had forgot anything else that I had did after or before, because I'll just say nothing. I didn't do nothing. And so since that, I had to go into a forgiveness stage. So I had to essentially forget that week I had, those few days I had that I spent time with a friend and did a crazy adventure. I had to forget that part of my life so I can forgive and move forward. And so it just really amazed me how I was able to forget so many events because I wanted to forget about Thanksgiving by myself because of one event that caused me to feel so down that in order to recover and not work through it, because I have to work all the way through it, and more often than not, people don't have time to work through anything with me, or they just choose not to. Before, I never looked at it, I don't remember so much from my childhood, because as I'm beginning to delve deeper into my writing and writing about true events or evoking emotions, I have to remember the whole of one time. Invoking those emotions, but not necessarily feeling, physically being affected by that memory. Because I also started to remember the good times. Like, for instance, I got hit by a car when I was like 7. And, but for the longest, I can't remember the impact of that car. Just the impact. I can't remember the impact. I can't remember rolling off the hood of the car. I just can't remember. I kept reliving that. I didn't go to therapy. I used to wake up screaming, nightmares. And then something else happened. So, but in order for me to forget or to move past that car accident, I had to force myself to start to forget that day. And before I was hit by a car, I was playing with my little brother. We was rolling the ball to each other. We were laughing, having a good time. And I'm starting to remember, as I write in detail, of how the airfield and how the house looked and how we were laughing. I start to remember what my brother looked like at that age. I mean, I have some pictures, but you start to forget how you looked when you were obliviously happy. I just tried to change that word. You caught that in real time, but obliviously happy in spite of the resilience that I had and I have, just in a different way. But I'm learning to remember to keep track of the good times so I don't let the memory of the bad times become prevalent. Learning to feel safe enough to express the whole me to someone again. Well, I don't know what kind of blurb I'm going to write up with this, but I'm just going to start typing it. Because this is about trauma. This is about memory. So, I don't know. Well, this has been Musings with Mookie. I'm about to go write in my journal and probably forget I have this recording and not post it before Thanksgiving, which I have another couple of recorded audios that need to go out. So I guess we don't know the number because I don't know which audio I'm going to pick. And I do plan on doing some Canva like illustrations for the video. So I don't know. Well, this has been Musings with Mookie. I'll talk to you guys next time. Ciao. Bye.